Welcome back to my corner of the internet. The dawn has risen, and I am here with another good-ass comic to talk about. I'm Dawn, and this is the Comic Corner. Not to be confused with the Comic Diaries, as those are a different series. Trigger warning. Child abuse, blood, scars, manipulation, murder, and death. Today we're going to be talking about Countdown to Countdown. This is a comic that started all the way back in 2015, actually, but in its current form was rewritten in 2019. It's currently 13 chapters long. This comic is made by Xiao Tong Tong, or Bluesky. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, I bet her art will. Bluesky is extremely well known in the Percy Jackson fan community, and actually made the official covers for the MXTX trilogy Scum Villain Self-Saving System. I knew the art on the cover looked familiar, but I didn't know why. CTC follows Iris Black, a boy who lives in a tower filled with people like him. Demiflora. A demiflower is someone who has a magical ability, and some even have interesting physical traits to go along with their abilities, such as fish fins or wings. Iris, as his name suggested, is an iris demiflower. The tower he lives in is made to protect demiflora from the outside world and spawn campers who want to steal their eyes. This comic has really cool video game vibes, with the enemies being called spawn campers and the chapters being called save files. It's a really cute and interesting aspect of the story, and adds a little bit of charm. We meet Iris as some other kids are having a race. He decides to join to try an invention he created. You see him step into a blueprint and make these shoes real. This is his magic. It works perfectly, yet when he does, all the kids are afraid and tell him he's not allowed to use his magic. He then gets punched in the face when he tries to tell Lawrence, his childhood friend, that he doesn't understand why he can't use his powers. When Iris goes home, he is greeted by Rosalie, who talks him about the outside and how dangerous it is for Demiflora. Iris expresses he feels like his magic needs to be released, like it wants to come out. Rosalie suggests he talks to his mother. Iris tries to head back to his room via the elevator, wanting to talk to his mom, but gets stuck inside when an emergency alarm goes off. He escapes the elevator using his powers and follows voices to a room where he finds an intruder that caused the alarm. He's been caught, and the guards taunt him, as it seems. He had been trying to steal a pair of eyes back. And we see there are several pairs of eyes these people have, and they even threaten to take his eyes if he continues to struggle. This is extremely shocking to Iris, as he's been led to believe that the tower is a safe haven, a place to protect Demiflora from spawn campers, now to find out that these own people were being sold to them. He is so surprised he speaks and alerts the guards. Before he can get attacked, the intruder attacks the guards instead. He even kills someone. Then he uses his powers. His eyes glow when he commands the guards to forget he was ever there and that spawn campers broke in and not him. Then he grabs Iris and finds out that he's an iris demiflower. But this is impossible, he says. All of them are dead. All of them are dead. Before they can talk more, the guards come and the two escape, overhearing that not just the intruder, now the assistant to his crimes, meaning Iris, are being looked for. So now he's roped into this. Iris is panicking about his mother letting this happen, and the intruder makes fun of him for not knowing and being domesticated. They decide to team up since Iris essentially saved his life, and he introduced himself as Lilium. As Iris tries to sneak Lilium into his room, we meet his mother, the Madame, the owner and creator, the tower. She is suspicious initially because of the intruder, but then addresses the race, and she hits him. From Iris's reaction, this is nothing new to him at all. She says there will be an assembly the next day, and leaves Iris to bring Lilium to his room. Lilium asks the irony of who his mother is and reveals that she's the one who killed all of the other iris demiflora, meaning he is now the only one in existence. This setup is already fantastic. We've got build up for characters, we have our two main characters introduced, and we have an incredible conflict building. And now, Chapter 2 begins. Chapter 2 begins at breakfast the next day with Iris looking tired as hell as he gets some food for himself and Lilium. Lawrence mentions how tired he is, but Iris brushes him off and goes back to his room, where we're introduced to Penny. Penny is a robot arm that Iris controls. She's also his only friend. Lilium is disturbed by Iris's comfort in eating middle school cafeteria quality food every day of his life, and makes shakshuka instead. And we're introduced to both Lilium's love of cooking and Iris's tendency to put hot sauce on everything. And I mean everything. He puts it on cookies later in the series. Psychopath behavior. The two talk about the situation before Rosalie arrives, and Lilium has to hide. But he sucks at hiding, and the three are forced to talk instead. And it's here that Lilium suggests that Iris come with him and escape the tower. Rosalie says no, and Iris says no as well, with the hope that the sweet mother that he knew when he was little is still in there. The two go to bed bitter, Lilium seemingly having left the next morning. Now it's time for the assembly, and as she begins, his mother calls Iris up to the stage. She reveals that she's captured Lilium and explains to everybody that he used his powers to help a stray demiflower. And, well, I don't want to narrate this part, so I'm just gonna show you pages. He covers him in scars all across his body in front of everyone in the tower and Lilium. And when it's over, he passes out. Midnight? How fucked up is that? Exactly. Terrifying. The point in her lecture is that their power is dangerous and should not be used at all. However, she uses it in an extremely violent way, and in a way that doesn't compare to how Iris was using it at all. Madame's own assistant wonders if she's going too far, but she assures that Iris will not be able to escape as he has no friends. But just then we see Rosalie coming to Iris's aid. She uses her power of healing as a rose demiflower to heal his wounds down to scars, so he can take Lilium and escape. She gives him her necklace, and they say goodbye. As Rosalie stays behind, Iris breaks Lilium out of his cell, and the two are on their way out. And on their way out, Lawrence finds them. They don't have much to say to each other, and Lawrence leaves without telling anyone what he saw. And the chapter ends with Lilium and Iris running off into the woods. And that is where I am also going to leave this video. I really hope that you guys go read the comic for yourself, as I read the whole thing and loved it, and I'm still reading it as it's releasing. I actually found it on Pinterest as a page from the latest chapter showed up on my feed, and I just had to give it a try. And I regret nothing. The writing in this story is so goddamn good, and the characters are so well written, and the art is just the lore is so deep and gets even deeper as we learn more stuff about what happened 50 years ago. And we learn just how horrid the Madame is. As a mother, as a wife, as a person. I'm also going to give Valinsky's newest comic a read. Although there's not much out yet, and I doubt I'll be able to make a video for a while, but the point is, this is one of my favorite comics to date. Anyway, final rating, 9 out of 10! I can't wait to see where this story goes and how everything is resolved in the end. Right now, everything seems a bit terrifying, but I can only hope it'll get better. And I didn't even mention the gay tension between Lilium and Iris. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go draw fan art of these characters. I don't do that enough.